I'm Maurice Mikkers and I'm a visual storyteller. Micrographs Stories is a project where I visualize the things we encounter and consume in our daily lives to create awareness or to educate people about the things that you, for example, can do with a microscope, but it could also be with different lab equipment and other technologies. There are three types of tears. It's an emotional tear, a reflex tear, and a basal tear. They're all meant for other purposes, like an emotional tear. We all know it can be sadness, can be happiness, can be stress, can be a lot of other things. You have basal tears, and a basal tear is an excessive tear that is produced because of the wind, because it's drying out your eyes, and then you need to lubricate them because you need to protect them. And then the third tear would be a reflex tear. And the reflex tear is a tear that actually protects your eyes from foreign particles or gases. So if you cut an onion, your eye is actually responding to the gases from the onion and creating the tickling feeling in your eyes. So that's the reflex tear. Every tear is unique. So if I make you cry at this moment, no matter which type of tear, like the reflex tear, the basal tear, or the emotional tear, either way, if you would cry from both eyes, if I take tear from the left eye or from the right eye, and I put them both separate into this thing, they will be totally different. Another artist called me because he saw my work, and I met him in Kuwait because one of his friends committed suicide. And yeah, he felt, of course, really sad. He already wrote like a song for it, and then he asked me if he could come by to actually cry, so we could actually combine the tears when we film them with his music to have like a music video. When I was working at the lab, I always saw a lot of beautiful things underneath the microscope, but my task was not to engage photography and capture the images of what I actually would see. So when I got home, I had the stories, but I don't have any visuals to show. So it was really difficult to explain to people what you were actually doing. I wanted to have a microscope for years. I started to do Micrograph Stories. It like naturally evolved from medicine to drugs to tears. But the microscope is just one way to show things in our lives. I mean, there are so many things in the lab we cannot put our hands on as an artist. What happens if we can freely use them just to create other perceptions? In the future, I hope to sort of create more interaction with my micrographs, for example, to place them in VR by having a helmet on, like a VR helmet, where you can actually walk through your tears. And the other way would be to 3D print them. And by doing this, you also allow people that are blind to sort of, feel what the shape of their tear is. And when people walk into the room, they're always like, wow, what is this? And then you actually have the time, because that was actually the story started, to tell something about the subject. And I think that's also sort of the power of the work I have, when you visualize something through whatever is necessary to use to create that attention to your work.